Good morning from a very cold and rainy morning here in Melbourne. Say hello to this gorgeous Echeveria elegans, one of the easiest to grow in our garden. We actually have quite a few of them, and some has already grown so big already. Just like this one right here. It's already so massive. We are in our winter here in Melbourne, so all the winter bright colors are showing up. I'm just actually looking for something that needs more immediate love and care because there's always something to do in the garden. Okay, maybe let's go with this one. This has already been trying to catch my attention for a few days now. It's like saying, come on, do something about my situation here. Look at that. All right, today's your day. Let's go. Okay, so what we have here is this gorgeous pot of Sedum Clavatum. So would be these two pots at the back, but we are working on this one today as it is already very dense and compact. As you can see, there are a lot of babies here that need some room for growth. So I have my set of tools, and I also have a seedling tray, and what we're doing today is something called trimming. Okay, trimming is when we cut some of the more matured rosette from the plant for a few reasons. One of them would be for propagation. So as we cut rosette or a stem, we just let that stem callus and then let it dry for a few days. Then they can be planted in a dry and well-draining soil, and after a few more weeks, when they have developed their own roots, they're already a new plant. And well, we have a video about stem propagation. I will put up the link here, and you could also watch that as well. But another reason for trimming is to give way for offsets or for the babies that have just been growing under the matured ones. So they do not have much space for growth. They have not been getting sun. And so once we have removed the matured rosettes, it will be like their time to shine, But actually, if we do not trim this clavatum, they will still have a way to take care of their dense situation. The stems of the matured ones, they will just grow longer, they will be a bit trunky, and they will form like a trailing effect from the pot, thus giving space for the younger ones. So, nature has its own way, but for us, as some of you may know, we have a business that revolves around succulents, and therefore propagation is the key. Oh, just look at these babies right here, just inside the pot. See? Alright, you know what is exciting about trimming is whenever I do this, I always find some treasures inside. And when I say treasure, I'm actually referring to slugs or snails. So this is also a good opportunity to check for them, remove them before they munch through your plant. Or sometimes you can see weeds that may also be already growing inside, and we want to remove them as early as possible when they are still smaller. I used to not care so much about weeds, like I just let them grow somehow, and I will take care of them when they're way too long. But I had a beautiful pot of gel. Look at that, there's already some weeds growing there. So anyway, as I was saying, I had a beautiful pot of jelly beans, and I allowed the weeds to grow so much, and they have just overtaken the pot. So it created a very damp environment for the plant, and eventually it had a fungal infestation. So now I try to pull weeds as much as I can and as early as possible, so that they will not grow. And when you pull the weeds, please pull them out from the roots, or they will just go back, and they grow like crazy, isn't it? So yeah, just like this one. try as much as you can. I have to say that I really like Sedum Clavatum because it just keeps on giving. These two pots at the back, I think I trimmed them about 2 to 3 months ago and they're once again full. I think especially now because we are in the cold season and these are winter growers, so they're happily growing and I am happily harvesting. But one thing that I have to really consider with clavatum is propagating. It has a lot of water stored in its chubby leaves and stem, so I have to completely air dry them before planting, otherwise they will turn mushy and they just disintegrate. Speaking of propagation, all those lower leaves that I have been collecting earlier, like this, will be set aside for leaf propagation. Of course, there are various ways of doing leaf propagation, but for these ones, I will just keep them aside. And when they show, oh, look at that. This is where I cut before. And now there is a baby that's growing from there. Anyway, going back to the leaves for these ones, I will keep them aside. And when they show some signs of new pops, we then just put them on top of a dry soil. And after some time, they will eventually become new plants. So now our plants are looking completely different from when we started. Once we are finished with trimming, it is important to ensure that we place the pot in a shaded environment, so no direct sunlight, because we have a lot of babies that are exposed now from just being under the shadow before, but we do not want to shock them with sun, not that we have a lot of sun here. It is a wet and cloudy winter, but maybe there is more sun in your location, so don't expose your newly trimmed plant. And second, there are a lot of open wounds, as we call it, those stems that has fresh cut. We do not want to expose them as well, and we want to keep them dry just so to avoid root rot. Stem rot. So now what we have is this pot with lots of baby offsets. We also have a tray filled with cuttings and also some leaves here for leaf propagation. And I just want to share that we sprinkle some cinnamon powder on the cut stems as it acts as a wound repairer and a fungicide. And I will just let those cuttings at the back to partially dry, and they will also be dipped in cinnamon because it can help keep the cuttings free from diseases, and while they're rooting, it also let the soil free from fungal growth. Just a tip. So this is the area where we will be keeping the pots that we've just trimmed. This is where we usually keep those that are due for rooting and they're not so exposed. And that is about it. We hope that you have enjoyed your time with us in the garden today. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comment section below. Please join us again next time, and hopefully you can subscribe to our channel. We'd love to show you more succulent videos. Until next time, bye for now.